Hello and welcome to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. I'm Swebb,
And I'm Dad.
and we are the dad and daughter duo talking about all of our favorite sports moments from the week. Dad, what's up?
Not much, Swebb. Not much.
What have you been
Just
up to?
watching a lot of sports, Swebb. A
There have
lot of
been
sports.
a lot of sports to watch.
And attending sports, going from one thing to another.
Okay, so tell us about it.
Hey. So your niece and nephew play over the weekend. Your niece's basketball season's over. They lost in the second round of playoffs. And then plenty of college basketball. North Carolina Duke Saturday night. Knicks, big win on Sunday afternoon after a horrible loss against Detroit the night before, 2 nights before that. Pretty much it, Sweb. A lot of action going on.
We also had the Super Bowl on
Oh, I
Sunday,
forgot about that. Those
although
kind
that was a snooze fest.
that was that
And
was a snooze fest.
the Winter Olympics. The Winter
Oh,
Olympics have begun.
yes they have. Yes they have.
So I am chock full of sports and sports watching over the past couple of days. Um, a little tired, not gonna lie. Like there's a lot going on. I'm trying to find out where I can actually go to sleep without missing anything. So let's start off with probably your most exciting moment of the weekend.
That was Saturday night. Carolina
Carolina
Duke.
versus Duke.
That was one for the ages, and I've seen a lot of those games. Them play each other over the years. That was one for the ages.
So Carolina was behind the whole game on Saturday night against Duke. Had to crawl back from about what was it, 11 or 12 down at the half, and came storming back in the second half. Played excellent defense, the by far the best defense seen them play all season. They end up winning it on a game-winning three-pointer with 4/10 of a second left by Seth Trimble.
That was their only lead of the game.
4/10 of a second left, and the place was jumping. They actually stormed the court. Then they realized that they still had 4/10 left in the game, and then they had to get everyone off the court and back to their seats. And then the game ended with the turnover by Duke. So tell us about the game. What are your feelings on the game?
Oh, they played great. They got outplayed the whole game. Duke has an excellent team, and they got outplayed, but they didn't give up.
See, I
And
didn't think that they
sometimes,
were getting outplayed the whole game. There were parts of the first half where the lead was actually pretty close. It was just in the last like 3 minutes of the first half that the game got, they kind of took their foot off the gas. I thought Caleb Wilson played phenomenal. I think he had 17 points in the first half. They played great defense, which their defense hasn't always been great in defense. You're not always putting in the same sentence with Carolina this year. They're giving up like 80 points a game. They kept, although he got his points, they kept Cameron Boozer. Really, he was in foul trouble, and he looked a little uncomfortable out there. Honestly, playing against the team. So I thought that they played really well, even though they went into the halftime down by 12.
yeah, and Caleb Wilson got them in foul trouble. Okay, by going to the basket and just working them over, and then once he got them in foul trouble, then they had a hard time guarding other people, and that's when Vasa took over in the second half because he did nothing in the first half.
Duke obviously has some weapons. They have some great shooters. They have a lot more depth than Carolina. But I was really excited not only because they beat Duke, but also because they showed me a lot in that game. They showed a lot of toughness. Caleb Wilson, we've been singing his praises all uh, season. But the way that he came out with the aggressiveness and this aggressive style of play, taking every shot, going to the basket, very tough, getting fouled, not being afraid of getting that contact, hitting free throws, getting the other team in foul trouble was great to see out of your star freshman. But then, like I mentioned, defense hasn't always been the best part of Carolina's game this season. So the fact that they were able to keep them to what was it, 68 points or so
Yeah,
for most of the game.
71-68.
Yeah. So that was a big deal. Now, where I think that they got into a little bit of trouble, you tell me. I thought at the end of the game, and I said this in the second half, I said, I like this lineup when they had Seth Trimble, Dixon, Visser, Wilson, and they had Stevenson in. That
Yeah, you
created
have
some length because Stevenson's also, what is he, 6'11?
he's
So
6'10", and then Wilson 6'10", and Vaso 7
so you got
feet.
a lot of length, and Wilson and Stevenson can play perimeter defense too.
Yep.
So you've got just a better defensive team. Then you also don't have, the sloppy guard play of turning the ball over and taking ill-advised shots and all of those things. So I really liked what I saw out of that lineup, and I was glad to see Hubert Davis go with that lineup at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was important because it's a lot of length, and then you can cut down because Duke has some real good 3-point shooters. So you cut some of that down, and some of those guys hurt them in the first half. Some of the 3-point shooting.
And Dixon, he's a freshman. He's a freshman point guard. That's not an easy position to play as a freshman in college, especially on the biggest stage. He's going to make mistakes, right? But I think with that lineup, it allows for him to kind of calm down a bit. He's not always going to make the best play, but he was able to drive to that basket on that Seth Trimble three. He was drive to the basket, draw the defenders in, and then he was able to kick it out. It was almost a nightmare play when it was happening in real time. But that's what you have when you have, Seth Trimble, who's a senior on the court, and the other guys who have shown that they're level headed and don't make dumb plays with the basketball.
That's the same play they ran against Kentucky earlier in the year, except he didn't pass it to somebody in the corner. They didn't defend it as well, and he just went up and laid it in. And that's how they beat Kentucky at Kentucky a few months ago. Yeah, that's why you got to run plays the right way. You got to be in the right spot. There's so much that goes into all this stuff. And that was a tremendous pass. He was guarded by two guys converging on him, and he passed it cross court, wide open, three, ball game.
So that was quite a game. I love what I saw out of Carolina. I think Hubert Davis has something there with those five guys in that rotation, and you bring other guys in obviously as the game goes on. But when the games are close, that's who I want to see on the court. Um, Now they'll play Tuesday. They play against University of Miami down at Coral Gables,
Should be a good game. You
and
you
Miami's got
you,
a good team this year.
you attended a few of those type games
I
when you were
attended a
there.
few. Carolina is 19-4, 7-3 in ACC play. Miami is 18-5 and also 7-3 in ACC play with their first year head coach. So they are absolutely a dangerous team. I'm excited to see the matchup.
Should be good. Miami, I've seen them play a few times. They're good.
All right, let's talk some Knicks because the Knicks are 9-1 in their last 10. Didn't have the best showing on Friday night against Detroit, got blown out, but came back on Sunday in Boston and blew the Celtics out.
Yeah, that was
And
something
they made a
else.
great trade this past week, Dad.
Tremendous trade.
So let's talk the Knicks. What do you think about the trade of getting Jose Alvarado from the New Orleans Pelicans, a seventh year or fourth year guard out of Georgia Tech? He played 25 minutes on Sunday, scored 12 points.
It's the points. He's a defensive man and playmaker. He can run an offense. He's like the perfect backup point guard. He can shoot, but his main thing is going to be his hustle and his defense. The fans, he's from Brooklyn originally. He's built for New York. They picked up the perfect player.
And the Knicks had to make that move because we didn't actually know the extent of Deuce McBride's injuries. He had to have surgery on his core muscle. He had an injured core, which I didn't even know was part of his injuries. I thought it was a bad ankle from earlier in the season. So the Knicks kept that under wraps and were able to get Jose Alvarado without getting completely out leveraged.
And that's why teams don't just release all their information to the media. And the they're always, New York media's always complain. Oh, well, they don't tell us everything. They complained about this with Aaron Glenn and the Jets. He doesn't tell us what his plan is. Brian Cash with the Yankees, they don't tell us what their plan. They're not going to tell you what their plan is. Because if they tell you what their plan is, they're telling the whole rest of the sport what their plan is. You can't do that. McBride had a sports hernia. He had to have surgery, but they didn't tell anybody, and they just talked about his sprained ankle until they made that trade. They wouldn't have been able to make that trade and get a player like that for as little as they gave up if they had explained everything.
So excellent job by the front office as they've been doing since getting to town. So the Knicks will play Tuesday night against the Pacers and then Wednesday night at Philadelphia before heading into the All Star break, where Jalen Brunson will make his second start, third overall appearance in the All Star game, and Karl Anthony Towns will make his sixth appearance.
Yep, they'll have a week off, which will help.
Anything else you want to add about the Knicks?
You know
You
what?
like what you see.
It's right there in front of them. They could win the whole thing, but they're going to have to fight for it. They're going to have to fight for it because there's some pretty good teams out here. All of a sudden, Oklahoma City's, they're starting to lose some games. San Antonio's good. Oklahoma City's good. Denver's good. Celtics are good. Philadelphia's decent. Detroit is real good. They're going to
Then and the
have,
Celtics are way better than expected without Jason Tatum. They
right.
have the same record as the Knicks right now.
Yep, and they made some nice trades before the trade deadline. The Knicks are going to have to fight for it, but they could win the whole thing. It's right there. But
Nobody
they're
said
going
it
to,
was going to be easy.
no, it's not going to be easy. It never is.
So let's talk about your boy,
Which boy?
Sammy D,
Who?
Sam Darnold, the latest Jets quarterback to be named a Super Bowl champion with
Well,
another team.
this is his this is his eighth year in the league. This is his fifth team he's with, and it just goes to show you it takes time. When I listen to Jet podcasts and Jets, oh, they just got to get a quarterback. We know they got to get a quarterback. I don't want to see them put one more young quarterback on the field until they have a real good offensive line, a real good defense. Seattle won the Super Bowl with a tremendous defense, and New England's defense was pretty good. If it wasn't for a few mistakes, that game was even closer than it appeared. They gave Seattle two touchdowns,
Well,
14 points.
The Seattle ends up winning the Super Bowl 29-13. The first half pretty much happened in a little over an hour because there was hardly any offense. It was just field goals by Seattle in that first half. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl champion, he did enough to win, right? He ended up with 200 yards, one touchdown, didn't make any mistakes. But it was really Seattle's defense, which was the star of the show there. If you could really even say there was a star, because the game was just so boring that I was mad that we weren't watching Olympic coverage and we were watching the Super Bowl. Like, why didn't the NFL schedule the season 1 week earlier so that you had the Super Bowl last Sunday and then this weekend, the Olympics, and you go for the next 2.5 weeks with the Olympics? To double dip, it's like there's already so much going on. How much do you want me to watch? And then we
It's
have this
tough.
game that's such a snooze fest. The commercials, there was like one or two commercials that I remember. It was kind of just like, thank God I had people over and I got to lay on this couch and I didn't have to go anywhere because it was also, it felt like it was negative 12 degrees yesterday.
Well, that's another big problem you guys got up there. But let me tell you, it could have been worse. You could have attended the game. They interviewed people outside that stadium. Oh, how much you pay for your ticket? $12,000. How much you pay for your ticket? $14,000. And these look like just regular, everyday working people. And one guy was interviewed. How much you spent for your ticket? Oh, 12,000. I bought four tickets. $48,000. And some of them, they weren't even New England or Seattle fans. Some
And
of
they
them were
weren't asking their friends for money like I was.
some of them were Kansas City fans.
And you know they couldn't see anything during the halftime show because Bad Bunny was walking through corn stalks the whole time. So he couldn't, he wasn't even on stage for you to be able to see the halftime show. So
People
you know
paid
what?
$12,000, $14,000 for one ticket.
I draw the line at 3,900
That's crazy.
with a few donations from friends.
That's crazy.
But I don't have to worry about the Knicks or the Jets getting to the Super Bowl anytime soon. So I won't
Hey,
be.
oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Not so fast. I was on the phone with Jet Management this morning. They're starting from scratch. They have
Good. That that feels like a good idea.
they have 100. I said, did you guys watch that Super Bowl? Did you see those teams? What they had? Yes, yes, sir. They have great defense. That's right. Now you have two first round picks. You have two second round picks. You have three first round picks next year, and you have a second round pick next year. You know what you got to do? Yes, sir. Defense. Your first four picks this year, use them on the defense and get a rock solid defense. And you have $100 million or thereabout in salary cap space. And next year, they're going to have another $100 million in salary cap space. Go out, get a defense. You've made some nice headway with your offensive line. Brush up on that, finish up that, and have rock solid defense and offensive line.
Seattle also has a great running back.
The Jets have a pretty good running back, Hall. Or they can re-sign him, and he'd be even better once you finish fixing up this offensive line. By the way, that running back, when he was in high school, he had a blood clot in his lung, and the doctor said he's got to give it up. They found a blood thinner, got him better. He finished his high school career. He goes to Michigan State, has a great career at Michigan State, becomes a second round draft pick. Now he's in his fourth year in the NFL. Walker, and was tremendous, and
Super Bowl
has been
MVP.
tremendous, and was Super Bowl MVP. Just goes to show you what happens when you don't give up, and you keep working.
Speaking of not giving up, the Olympics. This is my Super Bowl. Okay? The Olympics, this is like where I shine.
Where you shine?
Okay? Yes, where I shine as a spectator because I'm watching all of the coverage. I'm on Peacock. I'm on the Olympics mix, which they have three. They actually on a DirecTV stream. They have three screens showing NBC, USA, and CNBC. So sometimes I'm watching that. Okay. Did you see the ice dancing yesterday, Dad? Did you see the ice dancing?
A little bit.
Do you know who the quad god is?
No.
The quad god, Ilya Malinin, male figure skater, doing quads all over the freaking ice.
Well,
The team figure skating came down to Japan and the US, tied. The last skater to go. So the US had gotten a few points from their ice dancing pairs. Each place you're they have like all these different events within the team thing. So the women skate, their short skate, the ice dancers did their short skate and their free skate. The males do their short skate and free skate. Ilya didn't have a great showing in his short skate. Ended up getting upset by the Japanese skater. So Japan finished first in that one, US finished second. So now they come down to the last event, the men's free skate. The quad god showed up. Novak Djokovic was at the team final, giving them a standing ovation. This guy was doing backflips on the ice. You need to know who the quad god is, Dad.
I gotta start looking a little more.
Listen, this is what I'm here to tell you is that the Olympics is where it's at. So US ends up winning by 1 point against Team Japan. Team Italy came in third. Sensational, sensational action. Today, Monday, curling. US mixed doubles beat Italy. Team Italy, who they had lost to earlier in the competition in the semifinals, they beat them in front of the home crowd to make it to the final, which will take place, I think, tomorrow afternoon. I have to check the schedule so I can free my calendar up. So there's action all over the place. Not to mention, you have all these skiers. There was a snowboarder, 17 years old from the US, finished fourth. He's skiing with a broken arm. You got Lindsey Vaughn out there on a torn ACL. Unfortunately, had a brutal crash. She just announced that she fractured her tibia,
Yeah.
so she has to have multiple surgeries. These people are crazy. These
Well,
skiers are crazy.
you know what it is, Swebb? Listen, these are world class athletes, but not just the skiers. All these people you see on TV in all these professional sports, they're world class athletes. That's why I have a hard time saying, "Oh, this guy stinks. This guy's no good. That guy's no good." And as I'm sitting on the couch, I can't do that. You got to have respect for the talent, but it's not just the talent; it's the heart. This woman is 41 years old, and in the sports world, that's old. She's had so many injuries. Didn't she have a knee replacement injury,
She's had
surgery?
multiple torn ACLs, I think, in her career, and I think she's broken her leg in the past before.
Okay, and she tore her ACL a week ago in training. And what does she do? She says, "I'm going to race anyway." And she had two training runs,
Where she finished in the top three.
right? But when the real competition went on Sunday, she her mindset's, "I gotta go. I gotta win," and she went for it and crashed
And she
and had to be
she
airlifted off the course.
well, she announced it wasn't her ACL that gave out. She cut one of her lines too sharp, and her arm got stuck in the gate, the orange
Right,
gate that's on the mountain,
right.
and it resulted in pulling her, swinging her body around. She slammed into the snow and broke her shin. So she is going to be, it's going to take a while for her to recover. But she is, these skiers, these athletes in the Winter Olympics, they are built different.
And on the downhill race, which is probably the most exciting competition, they get
They,
up to 78 miles an hour.
I was watching yesterday, like, this is the Winter Olympics might be harder than the Summer Olympics because just about every sport, if you like fall the wrong way, you could die. You could like get so messed up. The snowboarding, they're flipping in the air, landing on the mountain. Like that doesn't happen in swimming. That's
No,
not happening in track and field. And Lord knows I have a ton of respect for those athletes and I love the Summer Olympics. But the Winter Olympics, you add in this level of danger to most of these sports out here. I can't even walk in a straight line the way that it's icy on these sidewalks. And I can barely walk through it. And these people are skating and skiing on mountains and at 80 miles per hour. It's insane.
it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. You got to tip your cap. You got to have total respect for these athletes. It's unbelievable.
And the thing that I love about the Olympics, it's not just like I'm obviously rooting for Team USA, but I was watching women's speed skating earlier in the week, and this woman from Italy, she ends up breaking the Olympic record on her birthday, wins the gold. She's 35. She had thought about retiring. She's a mother. She grabs her son after she wins the gold. The cinema, it doesn't get any better than
It's
this,
it's the
people.
it's the stories. It is nobody has success. Success doesn't just go straight up. There's so many peaks and valleys. These people have overcome so much. Same thing with these professional football players and basketball players and baseball. They've overcome so much to get where they are. So much. A lot of times injuries. A lot of times people from when they were kids. I heard Caleb Wilson the other day, superstar on North Carolina, say, when I was young, I wasn't any good. Michael Jordan got cut from his 10th grade, from the basketball team when he was in 10th grade. Kobe Bryant, I saw a Kobe Bryant interview on Instagram a few nights ago saying he couldn't even score when he was 12 years old. And by the time he was 14, he was best player in the state.
But it's different. Like like basketball, like these sports that we see every day, week in, week out. Yes, I have tons of respect for those athletes, but like they're gonna have an NBA Finals every year. They're gonna have a Super Bowl every year. The girl who ended up winning the downhill race was also an American, Breezy Johnson. She injured herself 4 years ago in January, just before leaving for the Olympics. That ended her Olympic run in 2022. So these sports, and I know that they have the X Games and stuff like that, and skiing and snowboarding, but these people are training so hard for this moment every
Right.
4 years,
Right.
and you could get seriously injured and miss it. Lindsey Vaughn retired and came back. Like this is incredible stuff. So if you're not watching the Olympics, you're missing all the good stuff.
And listening to the human interest stories, the background on what these people had to overcome. So, and if you do that and you get enough of that in your head, you won't think some problem you have is so big, and it'll give you inspiration. To some people ask me why you always smiling. Why? Because you got to do what you got to do, no matter what happens. And you get enough of that in your head for a long enough period of time, you'll realize you can overcome anything to get where you want to go, as long as you set a goal and you decide to go someplace.
Sports, man. I am exhausted because I've been watching a lot of it because everything's on at the same time, but it's just so good. It's worth it.
It's
It's
one of the
worth it.
best. It's one of the best things we do in this country.
So, I'm going to see you this weekend
Yeah.
coming up.
Why?
We'll be watching the Olympics, or will you be sleeping during it? What are
We'll
we going to do when I'm down there,
we'll
Dad?
find watch a lot of games and the Olympics.
Because
How
the
long?
NBA is off, so there's not really
How long are you gonna be here for, Swebb?
for a good amount of time.
How many?
Are we going to go to the gym a few times? How are your knees doing after you've had avocado vitamins?
They're doing a lot better. They're
Okay,
doing a
good.
lot better.
Good, good. All right. Do you want to do a little rapid fire?
Let's go.
Okay. Jalen Brunson,
Tremendous player. He's a dog. That's a
Caleb
guy that
Wilson,
he'll play hurt. He doesn't care.
Caleb Wilson,
Tremendous player. He has a tremendous future ahead of him, and he has a tremendously positive attitude.
Seth Trimble,
Dog. Hey, you know what? Guy stayed 4 years at Carolina. He's a 4 year senior. Didn't transfer, didn't try to run down money someplace else. Stayed. His family stayed. Um, his brother played there. He stayed for all 4 years. He's graduating. He's a real good player. He used his NIL money to buy a business on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill,
okay, Theo
ice cream
Pinson,
shop. Theo Pinson. Hey, a Carolina great. He won a thing. I remember when we were at the Maui Classic last year. I was at the supermarket one day and I ran into his father. I said, "Boy, you look familiar." And then he introduced himself and I said, "Oh, you're Theo's father." Nice people,
he
very nice
probably
man.
didn't need to be in the locker room during the team celebrations on Saturday since he's not on the team anymore, but we'll let him have it because it's
You,
Theo.
he came on College Game Day. Him, Ray Felton, and Justin Jackson, and he brought one of the championship things on the thing. He was walking around with that, and he gave the kids a prep talk. He's a positive guy.
The Quad God.
I haven't seen him yet. I got to see him.
You got to see this guy.
From everything you're telling me, that's my kind of guy.
Sensational. Let's see. Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. Do you know who they are?
No,
Ice dancing, U.S. national champions. They finished second in the free skate. Less than a point separates them from the first team, which is the French team. Tomorrow night, or I think Wednesday night, they skate for it all in the free skate. Less than a point separates
now
them.
this is ice dancing.
This is they're married. This is the fourth Olympics for Madison Chalk. This is the fifth Olympics for Evan Bates. They're married, their mothers sit next to each other at every tournament, every event.
Is one of them from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and
I
one of
don't
them
know.
from
I'll
Texas?
have to look into that. But needless to say, that they're incredible. We'll see what happens.
Hey, I love anything with a scoreboard, Swebb. I'm in.
All right. Before we sign off, is there anything that you're excited for this upcoming week?
Well, you got Duke down at Miami tomorrow.
UNC down at Miami.
I mean, UNC at Miami. You've got college lacrosse just got started. Oh, you got spring training starting this week, Swebb.
Spring training is starting.
Pitches and catches report on Wednesday. Start working out on Thursday. And you're going to be in town. You probably drive me crazy. Take
And
plenty
guess
of
what?
video of
I'm
me
excited
dozing
to be
off.
in town because yesterday it was like 5 degrees with a wind chill of -12. So I'm excited to get out of here.
It's 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 a lot warmer down here, and you won't see any garbage piled up on the street. Did they clear up the
I
garbage yet?
wouldn't say it's a lot warmer. It's going to be in the 50s, but it's going to feel a lot warmer with the way things are going up here.
Hey, in the mid 50s, and it's sunny and it's not windy. It feels pretty nice.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Did they clean up the garbage?
Some of it.
So it's not 8 feet high anymore. It's what, 4 feet high?
It's like 2 feet high.
It's what, 3 weeks now of garbage on the street?
There's probably been new garbage. I haven't always been outside to check to see when they've picked up the garbage, but I have seen garbage trucks picking up some garbage.
Unbelievable.
It's more that there's ice blocks of snow on the side of every street that are all brown because it's 5 degrees outside and they're all dirty.
And there hasn't been any melting.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Dad and Swebb, and subscribe to us on YouTube and Rumble. And share this episode with a friend. We will see you next week.
So long.
Thank you for tuning in to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports, the show where we cover all of our favorite sports moments from the past week. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and Rumble, and follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram and X. See you next week.